Hello and welcome to a project that's been ongoing since the early 1990s, so naturally you're going to come in the middle. This time I'm going to look into the dashboard design, which I did back in August, and then I finally in December went down to CarBuilderSolutions to pick the bits and bobs up. A couple of years back I built Edwards Loom remotely and then managed to install it in a day. There's a bit of a debate as to whether that's a good idea or not, which I'll talk about a bit. After many months, the day finally came for a trip deep into Kent on some roads that are quite familiar from when I used to do rally navigation. CarBuilderSolutions grew from a guy who was building 50s Ferrari replicas. It's a great website, great catalogue. I highly recommend them. I'll talk about the design process later, but first let's have a little look around. Light switches, which is really what I'm here for today. Here to pick up an order and save the postage, but really just to come and see. The dangerous bit here is all of this rummaging stuff. It's nice seeing, some switches that you can just have a little go at. I imagine this is display boards they take to shows and things.
So we're fine. So again, it'll be.
I like these, but not this project. And this is for brakes, whereas the pedal moves, pulls the spring, and closes the contacts. As you can see, so much choice. These little warning lights really are little teeny tiny ones. And there's the medium size as well as the larger. These mini dashboards strapped in. These sorts of switches are helpful. You can't lean forward. Or pushy pull ones. I had a car that had a set of those for extra functions once with the light in the middle. It's quite handy. This could be dashboard, and then these tiny little indicators, really tiny.
Yes. Nice.
Come and see the size of rod ends from absolutely massive down to it's probably about right for clutch links and things. It's also nice getting hands on with kind of flexible water hose. See just how flexible it is and what this stuff is, and I'll recognise it when I come to it in the catalogue now. Dashboard design. Having dug out all the bits and bobs, I thought I could do the same again, and if not, space things out more easily. But although the dashboard's bigger, having put it on a wedge to make it look nicer, it's now quite a tricky space to squeeze the dials into. So there's the black bit, which is the original crossbeam, and the green wedge. There's a bit of time trying to decide, which speedometer to use, the Reliant one or an Austin one or what. And at this point, I accept that this might not be the final version. So this could be what we have for now, and change mind later. Switches, doodling on napkins in a cafe, you think you can get some on the right hand side, but you can't. Space is really tight in this car, so very, very limited options. It then became working out what was possible, and then thinking through kind of the design concept. And I like everything modular, and I really admire this weather sealed military stuff. Something else I like from the military stuff, and it's seen here on a submarine control panel, is a combination of rotary and push-pull and toggles, so you don't confuse them like it's so easy to do on a classic car where you just have a row of identical toggles. So this is all a process I've been through relatively recently. Just a couple of years ago I did Edward's car, and I built modules here on the bench that I could then plug together and test here. So with minimal tools and in a single day, I could visit him, pop in the dashboard, the nose, the tail, and end up with a viable car. That worked out very well, in particular moving house, which he's done a couple of times. I think I'll probably do the next video on Edwards Loom. Edward has magneto ignition, so the Loom is just an on-off switch which keeps things simple. I'm committed to this plug and play technique, where you can pop the Loom in as easily as a seat or a windscreen or something. Opinions differ on what plugs to use, but this is the approach I'm taking. The two sorts of plug I used were a standard trailer plug, having built it round an extension lead I got from Halfords, and also a lawnmower power plug that I got from one of the DIY sheds. The obvious thing to use is automotive, but I find them quite a faff. I've got a friend who's a broadcast engineer, and he fancies these XLR plugs, which most would think of as microphone or high-end hi-fi. But you can get them in lots of pin states. They're not too bad a price, and very robust, completely weatherproof, positive lock. The debate continues, and I might use something different up the wet end, and then something simple like these to connect to what we call tube map, which is the block in the middle where all the wires are laid out like a circuit diagram. But 100% it will be built on the bench, modular, plugged together, testable as subsystems. And the dash layout reflects that with these separate blocks like you see on military vehicles and aircraft and so on. That brings you up to date for 2024, but I've got some early 2024 camera films which I'm going to do compilations of, and then of course I've got 30 years to catch up on. But at least now I've got enough in hand, some mixy-matchy lights, some mixy-matchy switches, and hopefully over Christmas I'll make a start. Thank you for watching. Comments welcome. Hopefully 2025 we see 1, 2 or maybe even 3 cars back on the road. And there's a Redbubble shop now.